That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright, thank y'all so much for all the support y'all showed on the videos as of late. I mean, y'all have been destroying that like button, and we've been seeing an insane amount of new subscribers. But to all the new subscribers, I really want to make sure that everyone's on the same page here. Guys, please understand this is an exclusive Dynasty Fantasy Football channel. Here, I'm not going to be talking about regular fantasy football redraft advice. We have a separate channel just for that. No, here it's only Dynasty Fantasy Football. So if you subscribed and you really did not know what you were getting into, please go down there and unsubscribe for this channel because it's not going to be for you. Alright, well, that's it. Now let's dive into it and let's talk about 5 running backs that I think are nice targets at the end of your startup drafts. I know there have been a lot of people coming out here joining Dynasty Leagues. We are going to be starting a ton of our own for all the supporters, just waiting till after we get past week 16. But regardless, let's start it off with our first running back, someone that I have stashed everywhere in my own Dynasty Leagues, and this is going to be Rashaad Penny. Okay, so with Rashaad Penny, let's take a step back. Let's look at what we thought he was in the 2018 NFL Draft. Okay, so if y'all remember, Rashaad Penny came out of San Diego State. He was a first-round draft pick by the Seattle Seahawks. But what we really like to see from Rashaad Penny is his size-adjusted athleticism that he put on display at the NFL Combine. Now, I don't have any of these numbers ahead of me because we are just going off memory. But regardless, I mean, if you look up his 40 time combined with the size, it put him in a great group of running backs. I believe he was upwards toward the 80th percentile. But here with Rashaad Penny, also he had the team investment by the Seattle Seahawks. And on top of that, we know that with Rashaad Penny, he was actually a really good pass-catching running back in college. And I know he has been a major disappointment so far at the NFL level, but that's mainly been due to the fact that we've seen Chris Carson be the starting running back for the Seattle Seahawks. Whenever Rashaad Penny has been on the field and he has gotten the opportunity to show what he can do, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, he's looked like the best running back in Seattle. I mean, he has flashes of pure greatness. I think that everybody who is a fan of Rashaad Penny knows that he is one of the most dynamic running backs with what he is able to do once he gets in the open field. So he has the size, he has the athleticism, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, he has the team investment, so he checks every single box that we'd like to see from running backs. The only thing is, he does not get the opportunity. But now going into 2021, I mean, if we look at this current situation by the Seattle Seahawks, they currently have Chris Carson coming to the very end of his rookie contract. They have yet to give him an extension. And on top of that, we know that Chris Carson has been the definition of an injury-prone running back so far throughout his entire NFL career. So I don't think that anybody would really be surprised if they decide to let Rashaad Penny leave Seattle this upcoming offseason, especially considering the fact that they have invested into DJ Dallas and Travis Homer in the past 2 off seasons. So now here, I think in 2021, it's a possibility that Rashaad Penny gets to shine as a workhorse running back on one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL. I mean, things are shaping up greatly for Rashaad Penny as long as he comes back from that injury and is able to do what he could before, and that opportunity opens up in the offense. I mean, I think that Penny could be a fantastic stash. All right, so now let's get to our next running back. Someone that I talked about, I want to say a couple weeks ago, someone that I did not like in rookie drafts this past year. Let's talk about Keyshawn Vaughn. Okay, so guys, if everybody remembers, the reason I hated Keyshawn Vaughn coming into the NFL is not only that I liked Ronald Jones and I thought that he was a much better talent coming out of USC than what we were seeing with Keyshawn Vaughn out of Vanderbilt, but also if you looked at Keyshawn Vaughn, he was actually extremely old coming into the NFL. I believe he was 23 years old at the time of the NFL draft, and you look at the historical hit rates at running backs that come in at that age, and really it is horrible. I mean, you are not going to be able to succeed at a very high rate unless you're going to be a running back coming out after your junior season, because generally the guys that have that talent, the guys that have the athleticism to make an impact in the NFL, I mean, they really know it. By the time they are 21 years old, they don't have to stick around and continue to improve their game by the time they're 23. But at the end of the day, we are looking at Keyshawn Vaughn going into 2021, possibly as a running back that's going to be stepping up into a pass-catching role on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, because Leonard Fournette was a healthy scratch this past game. Really, they only had Keyshawn Vaughn, LaShawn McCoy, and Ronald Jones in that backfield good to go. So I think it's 100% expectation that we do not have Leonard Fournette in this offense in 2021. And obviously, we are not expecting LaShawn McCoy to be back either. So here, what we are going to have is we are going to have Ronald Jones coming to the end of his rookie contract. He was drafted in the 2018 NFL draft class. So if my math is right, this should be his last season in Tampa, unless they decide to give him a contract extension or re-sign him after the 2021 season. So if we look at Keyshawn Vaughn, he's still under that rookie contract for the next 3 seasons. He was drafted in 2020 in the 3rd round, so we really don't have to worry about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense deciding to move on from Keyshawn Vaughn, as the team significantly invested into him in that day 2 pick in the 2020 NFL draft. So yeah, a running back that I hated coming into the NFL, but based on the fact that he has that job locked up as the pass-catching running back on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with upside after Ronald Jones leaves this offense to possibly be a little bit more, I think that he is a solid late-round running back target. I mean, I would much prefer a Keyshawn Vaughn in 2021 rather than someone like Todd Gurley. Okay. So now our next running back is someone that was entirely impressive this past season, Chase Edmonds. Okay, so with Chase Edmonds, I know by no means was he a league-winning running back in 2020, but that was based on the fact that Kenyon Drake was the starting running back in Arizona. The one game that Kenyon Drake did miss, we saw workhorse-type usage from Chase Edmonds. And like I say all the time, what we like to do is we like to dive into the running back contract situations and try to project who is going to be the starting running back the upcoming season. And right now, Kenyon Drake was playing under the transition tag in 2020. Kenyon Drake, in my opinion, was a major disappointment. I'd be very surprised if the Arizona Cardinals decide to bring Kenyon Drake back, especially considering that he's an older running back and Chase Edmonds was incredibly efficient on the touches that he received in the offense. They just invested into Eno Benjamin with the 7th round pick in 2020. So here it looks like Kenyon Drake could be on the way out. It looks like Kyler Murray is one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Chase Edmonds is the pass-catching running back in that offense regardless, so he has a high floor. And if we get Kenyon Drake leaving this offense and Chase Edmonds steps up into that feature down role, I mean, Chase Edmonds has running back 1 potential in Dynasty Fantasy Football as early as 2021. All right, so now let's get to our next running back, someone that I was actually drafting a good amount in 2020, and this is going to be A.J. Dillon. Okay, guys, I know I've talked about A.J. Dillon in multiple videos already, but I want to continue to have this discussion because right now, Aaron Jones is playing under his last year of his rookie contract for the Green Bay Packers, and we saw so many other players get extended. We saw Cooper Kupp, we saw Dalvin Cook, we saw Joe Mixon, we saw Alvin Kamara, all get contract extensions from that 2017 NFL draft class. Now, we did not see that with a player like Aaron Jones. Instead of giving him that extension, they decided to go out there in the 2nd round, the same round that Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins were all selected. I mean, Cam Akers as well. They took A.J. Dillon. So here, I think the commitment by the Green Bay Packers to use that kind of draft capital, combined with their reluctancy to go and re-sign Aaron Jones, makes it a possibility that A.J. Dillon is the starting running back for one of the best offenses in football, behind one of the best offensive lines in football in 2021. And let's all remember, guys, A.J. Dillon's comparison coming into the NFL was Derrick Henry. And if you remember, at the very beginning of Derrick Henry's NFL career, he was playing alongside DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray was a feature running back. While he was very inefficient, he did see the majority of the touches early on in Derrick Henry's career. So maybe we're seeing a slow start from A.J. Dillon for a reason. Maybe he just has to transition his game a little bit for the NFL. All right, so now let's talk about our last running back, someone that you may be able to get off the waiver wire right now in some of your dynasty leagues, but he had a fantastic week this past week. This is going to be Trayveon Williams. Okay, guys, so with Trayveon Williams, if you don't know anything about him, I mean, he almost led the SEC in rushing a few years ago for Texas A&M, and while he's not necessarily one of the most talented running backs in the NFL by any means, while he does not project to be a starting running back in 2021, he is a running back under a rookie contract, which is something that we always talk about being extremely valuable in Dynasty Fantasy Football. And also, if you look at the contract by Giovanni Bernard for this Cincinnati Bengals team, it looks like they are most likely going to be trying to get out of it in 2021. Looks like they're going to have Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine, and Trayveon Williams all on this roster going into next season. And if you look at the profile of a Trayveon Williams, he really looks like he's going to be a guy stepping into that Giovanni Bernard role. That's what I thought they initially drafted him for, as he's a great pass catcher. For whatever reason, they decided to go out there and to continue to use Giovanni Bernard in this offense and give Giovanni Bernard that very nice contract. But it looks like they should be able to get out of that contract sometime soon. So it looks like Trayveon Williams could be stepping up as the running back 2 on the Cincinnati Bengals. And if we see another Joe Mixon injury, I think that could be a very productive position if we have Joe Burrow back and healthy in 2021. Okay. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps us out. And yeah, that's all I got. I hope I'll see y'all with the video tomorrow.